Well, hello there, friends. This is Scott from Platte River Keto. If you're new to my channel, welcome. On my channel, you get to come along for the ride on my keto journey. I check in with you at least once a week to update you on my progress and try to check in with you at least one other time during the week to share something with you, usually something I've discovered about the ketogenic diet, but sometimes just about this little journey that we call life. Today is Friday, November 18th. Not a normal check-in day for me. Normally I check in with you on Saturdays. As those of you who've been following my channel know, of course, it is deer season here in Nebraska. Last weekend, I spent most of the weekend, of course, hunting with my son. He was successful, able to harvest a nice buck on Sunday morning, and so that was fantastic, wonderful. But because of the deer season last weekend, I was able to stop home and get a quick check-in with you. This weekend will be very much the same. Not quite sure when I will get my check-in done. I will get myself checked in with you. I will go over my goals, and I will let you know my relationship with Earth's gravity. But things are kind of up in the air as I will be gone for most of the weekend. I did want to get a check-in with you this week. Something I just wanted to discuss really briefly with you, something I've been thinking about quite a little bit, and it's really interesting because totally unrelated to one another, but another keto personality shared a podcast this week. It was Kim Howerton with Keto Life Support. She titled it, I believe, Throwing in the Towel. And I thought that was really interesting because I've been thinking a lot about that this week. Not that I want to throw in the towel by any stretch of the imagination, but a lot of different ways of describing it, right? When you have some goals or some things you're wanting to do and there's a change in your plans. Throwing in the towel, taking a pause, a reset, quitting, giving up. Those obviously vary in degrees of positivity and negativity. But as you know, I have a few goals that I've been set up for myself here for the fourth quarter. One of those had to do with keto treats and having no keto treats and no snacking. This particular week, the last 7 days or so, has been pretty stressful for me. Not really in a bad way. It's not been necessarily a whole lot of negative stress. I've just been really busy. As I mentioned, throughout the weekend, I was gone hunting, which normally the weekend is a chance for me to recharge, spend time with my family. I was still able to spend time with my son, of course, which was great. Spend some one-on-one time with him. I really had a good time, but definitely out of the normal for me. And then, of course, my son was successful on his deer hunt and was able to harvest a buck, and that was great. But there's a few things that come along with that, which is making sure we get the deer through the processor, which we did. Our processor is not right next to our house. It's about a 30-minute drive, maybe a little bit longer than that to actually get to our processor. So I got to do that on Sunday evening. Then on Monday evening after work, I took the antlers from Brandon's buck so that they could make a mount out of that. Again, that was an hour and 15-minute drive to get there. So it actually took me about 3 hours. It was my evening on Monday, was going to do that for my son. So basically, I felt pretty busy this week. Like I said, stressed, not necessarily negative stress, but just busier than usual. We've also felt like had something going every night this week. We had parent-teacher conferences last night, which, as most of you know, my wife is a school teacher, so she was at school all the way until 8 p.m. As she, of course, was at school at the high school, I went to the parent-teacher conferences for our daughter at the middle school, and visited the high school also for some things that they had. Our son is a junior, so there were some things about getting ready for college that I did. So anyway, it's been a busy week. Work hasn't been terribly stressful. We're kind of getting into a tax planning time at my job as an accountant, so it's just been a busy and a stressful week, and I've been feeling very cravey, for lack of a better term. Really been craving like keto treats. Again, I've been completely without those since the beginning of October, which is a good thing, I think. But this week I actually gave into some temptation at work, which I don't usually do. There was a big tin of popcorn at the office, and I had some of that. And then I went back and I had some more. Now I didn't just go crazy. I had 2 like red Solo cups full, which is not nothing, but it's certainly not what I used to do. But I really was just feeling, like I said, really cravey. I was getting to the point where I'm like, I'm going to lose it and like eat all of this popcorn in this tin. So I made a conscious decision this week. My wife and I have been really wanting to try this keto baker. She has a website, All I Dream About Is Food, I believe it's called. I might have screwed that up. But she has some fantastic recipes, and we're looking at a couple for our Thanksgiving get together this next week. But I said, hey, could we make one of those? And my wife said, sure. We made one. It was really good, by the way. But obviously, that's not on my plan. The plan that I've had for myself for the fourth quarter to not have keto treats, and obviously, I was making a conscious decision to make a keto treat, so it certainly was going to be available for me. Not only that, but after we enjoyed them when we made them, I took half, and my wife took half, and she took them to work, to school, and I took them to my office, so that if I was really feeling like I just couldn't take it anymore, so to speak, I could reach for a keto treat rather than reaching for popcorn or other, non-keto snacks and things like that. And it got me to thinking. And it was, like I said, it was really fortuitous because Kim Howerton has a great way. She really thinks through things, and her podcast was really helpful for me in kind of solidifying the thoughts in my own brain, which was, would that be a failure on my goals? And I don't really think so. Kim talked about how she was throwing in the towel. For those of you who haven't had the chance to listen to her podcast, she was throwing in the towel on wanting to have a cut here before the end of the year. A cut for her is focusing on weight loss, and she's just going to focus on maintaining. She didn't really say how long that was going to be for, but that was kind of what she talked about. And I thought to myself, with my own goals, am I taking a pause? Am I throwing in the towel on my goals of not having keto treats? And was that a failure for me? And I think the answer to that question really is mostly no. First of all, I made a conscious decision to do that. Second of all, I think it was actually helpful for me because it kept me from going off the rails, which is kind of where I felt like I was headed. We obviously have goals in place for a reason. I set those goals because it's something that I struggle with sometimes. Having said that, making that keto treat and having it available, I haven't finished that keto treat. I have several of those still sitting in my office in the fridge. And I think making it available to me, giving myself that option, was what I needed to continue to stay on track for the rest of the fourth quarter. Now, how is my relationship going to be with Earth's gravity this week? I don't know. I have a feeling it's probably not going to be down like it has been. I might have even gained a little bit of weight. And I don't think that's all necessarily related to the couple of, pieces of a keto treat that I had that are like, that size. I think it's related to probably my stress, me not doing my regular routine. Even when I was out hunting, I didn't eat the same way that I normally do. Not that I ate things that were off of my plan. The only snacks, I guess, that I had when I was out hunting were totally keto. They were beef jerky, some venison jerky that I had. I brought my electrolytes with me, but I was off of my usual plan for this week. So it wouldn't surprise me if my relationship with Earth's gravity either I didn't lose as much as I have been the last few weeks, or even that I maintained or even maybe gained a little bit this week. Am I worried about it? At the end of the day, no. And like I said, I thought a lot about it because I'm like, gosh, are you giving in halfway through? And I think the answer to that question is no. I still have my goals intact for the fourth quarter. I still have a goal to be under 300 pounds by December 31st. Again, with my last weigh-in, I was at 311, so I'm getting close there. And I feel like it was the pause, reset, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't really call it a reset, but a pause or a throwing in the towel on that particular goal. And not even really throwing the towel on that particular goal, like not for the rest of the year, just for this week. It was what I needed this week. I needed that option available to me so that I didn't make poorer choices. I think that keto treats are a thing obviously to have on occasion, and I'm definitely planning on having some in case anybody was wondering, next week for Thanksgiving. But I think that for me, it wasn't a spur of the moment thing. I thought quite a bit about it, and I made a conscious decision that I'm going to go ahead and make this treat and I'm going to have it available to me. And I think that actually kept me on track rather than taking me off the rails, so to speak. I've been able to keep up with my workouts. And like I said, I haven't eaten all of those treats. I've had them available to me, which I think has helped to keep me actually on track. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Think about that as it relates to your goals and the goals that you have. I think it's okay sometimes to look at our situation and to adjust our plan. That's one of the interesting things about life, and one of the things that I've discovered as a person who really likes to plan, is that obviously we make a plan, and we work our plan, but we also need to be willing to adjust our plan, because life definitely gets in the way of the best laid plans. So anyway, I hope that made sense to you, or might have been helpful to you. If so, feel free to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon so that you can be notified about the next time I share one of these videos. Obviously, you can like my video if you would like to. Like I said, I'm planning on checking in with you tomorrow for my weekly update to let you know how I did this week on my goals and, of course, my relationship with Earth's gravity. Not sure when that's going to be. Thank you, Deer Hunt. But hopefully I'll get it in tomorrow. But for now, keep calm and keto on, and we'll talk to you guys soon.